Welcome to Arcade Cast, the best place to chill with friends and get your gaming goodness each and every Monday. My name's Tim White. Join me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey, John. I'm excited to be here on this week, filled with Bayonetta news.
Also here, Ciaran Marchant.
Hi, I'm excited to talk about all things Caped Crusader and also high-heeled betrayals.
Sure, that'll work. So, yes, we will be talking about Gotham Knights a little bit later. Ciaran has been playing that. I'm going to talk about Wild Hearts, a thing I previewed like weeks ago but didn't get talked about because PAX was on. Silent Hill and Resident Evil, both are showcases, and we'll talk about McDonald's and how Ciaran will rant about Overwatch, I'm sure. But yeah, let's get into Bayonetta stuff. So, I thought this, because I wasn't on last week's episode, I thought this was happening when you recorded, or was this after? I'm a bit confused.
It was after we recorded.
Okay, it must have been just. I swear it was around the same time.
Yeah, I think we recorded Saturday morning. Maybe it happened Saturday night or Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll just read a bit.
In hindsight, glad we didn't. Glad we didn't touch it when it first.
Yeah, there's been a lot happening since then. Kotaku writes here, the story behind the casting of a lead voice actor role, the lead voice actor role for the third game in the Bayonetta series has been a complete mess, involving allegations of terrible pay, conflicting accounts, and non-disclosure agreements. In an attempt to put the whole thing to bed, the developers of the title, Platinum Games, have tonight issued a statement. Tonight, as of recording, this was posted a couple of hours ago. We at Platinum Games offer our sincerest appreciation to everyone who has contributed to creating the Bayonetta series over the years, as well as the community that has served its foundation. We give our full support to Jennifer Hale as the new Bayonetta and align with everything in her statement. We ask people to please refrain from any further comments that would disrespect Jennifer or any of the other contributors to the series. Jennifer posted up, who is the new voice actor of Bayonetta. We'll get back to everything as it is. She posted up the thing earlier saying, with regard to Bayonetta 3, as a long-time member of the voice actor community, I support every actor's right to be paid well and have advocated consistently for this for years. Anyone knows me or has followed my career will know that I have great respect for my peers and that I am an advocate for all members of this community. Blah, 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 blah. Finally, I hope that everyone will resolve these differences in an amicable and respectful way. With love and respect to your Jennifer Hale. This, of course, all kicked off, and the reason these two of people writing this is because the story began last week when Helena Taylor, who played Bayonetta in the series' first two games, released a series of videos where she claimed she had only been offered $4,000 for the role in the third game and called for fans to boycott the upcoming game as a result. Quote, fat cats cream off the top and leave us the crumbs. She said, before noting her inability to get a living wage from the industry has led her to suffer depression and anxiety. As she tells it, after being lowballed, she wrote to Hideki Kamiya, executive director on the game, to plead her case. She complains that he acknowledged her importance to the role and how much it would mean to fans, but the offer still apparently ended up being $4,000. She said, I worried that I was going to be on the streets. That terrified me so much that once I was suicidal. I'm not afraid of the non-disclosure agreement. I can't even afford to run a car. What are they going to do? Take my clothes? Good luck to them. Hale, who was replaced by Taylor, issued her own statement, the one just read out above, while a story on Bloomberg posted this week then cast doubt on some of Taylor's initial pay claims. Both women said subsequently be targeted by online abuse, prompting Platinum's plea in tonight's statement. The Bloomberg story, just to give a quick rundown of that, which was written by Jason Schreier about 4 or 5 days after her original video, I think, after he did some digging, was that he found corroborating and he found reports, and VG 24/7 also had their own sources that corroborated the report to say that this is the same thing that they've come to, which is that apparently Platinum had offered her $4,000 for something like 5 to 6 sessions. So that was going to be the
$4,000 per session.
$4,000 per session over
$3,000 to $4,000 per session.
Roughly 3 to 4 sessions that were going to be around, I think, 5
roughly
to 6 hours each. Yeah, so roughly it was going to be around 20 grand is what their reports came to, and they said that that was the breakdown in their Their report said the breakdown was between the back and forth over money. Eventually, they couldn't come to terms. They went to Jennifer Hale. So, look, as the Bayonetta fan, I think Ash, of course, asked me about this when we recorded Plat or something like that, because that's when the news was sort of popping off. And at the time, I said, look, not good, but I'm waiting
off air. I'm pretty sure we talked about this, just to be clear.
Yes, off air. Sorry, not on Plat. It was off air. Yeah. I said not good. I said something like, I was saying it's not good, but at the time I said I'm waiting for more information because this just seems weird to me that Jennifer Hale would be brought in to replace an actor who was apparently getting so fucking lowballed at $4,000, and that she would be doing this because I know that she's a union
actress. Yeah,
union
she would be
actress.
definitely getting paid
A much more
correctly.
proper amount, correct amount, hopefully. So yeah, that was the part that was confusing me. So when this stuff came out from Bloomberg and Jason Schreier, I was like, that kind of makes more sense to me because the Jennifer Hale part was the most confusing. If it had been random voice actor I've never heard of and I have no idea the history or if they're a union actress, I probably would have been a bit more like straight away like, yeah, I totally believe everything here.
Scabs.
Yeah, it was the Jennifer Hale part that had me going, I think there's more to this story. I think there's more to this story. And there turned out to be more to the story. I think the thing is, and I'm echoing a lot of people's other thoughts on this, is that this story, which could have been twisted and turned into an echo about how a lot of the video game voice actors are currently still underpaid. They don't get royalty fees and all these other sorts of really actually important discussion points around the topic have completely and utterly disappeared from the conversation because like anything on the internet, it has turned into a sports event where people have picked their side. Either
She should.
Yep.
That's all that matters.
They're like, I'm Team Platinum now. I'm Team Helena. I'm Team Jennifer. And you've got people adding Jennifer Hale who didn't say anything wrong other than, hey, I just want everyone to get along and like, blah, you know, like
I'm
nothing.
under NDA. I can't talk about anything.
And then people in her comments saying that she's a horrible person and like how dare she fuck over Helena and all this sort of stuff. Helena, sorry. All this sort of stuff. You got people at Platinum saying that everyone there, like, you know, people saying I hope the studio goes under. What, everyone that works there go under, even if they underpaid, like that's an executive decision. So you want everyone at an entire company to fold because of this. Like this isn't like a mass like fucking corporate sex slave scandal or something where the company, you know, like this is a executives like underpaid. This is an important issue, but it's not like let's like fucking like go crazy with our pitchforks. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Like it went from potentially striking a somewhat interesting conversation that could have been used for good into it's not that at all now, and it's just people yelling at each other, and they're treating it like a sports event where they pick their side. What are your thoughts, Ash?
Yeah, it's a weird one. Obviously very inflammatory by Helena. Hopefully this is just a case of, you know, some sort of communication mistake at some point as to why she thinks she was only being offered so little. But yeah, it's crazy interesting that she obviously comes out like 2 weeks before the game is meant to come out, Ciaran, and you know, had these very inflammatory videos. I think in the last one, she's like straight out calls out Jennifer Hale.
She says something like, now they've got this other woman to do the thing, but she'll never be this character. You know, like it's just it comes across very mean spirited,
and you know, yeah, it's kind of it's definitely a weird one. We don't know what's in Bayonetta. We don't know what the story of Bayonetta 3. Obviously, there was that story going around about Persona 5 when that game was coming out about one of the actor, like the Velvet Room guy, the voice actor being replaced. And you know, there's the stories and why that actor wasn't in that game. You know, maybe Bayonetta dies in the first 15 minutes. Takes a golf club to the head, and then we get the game is just somebody else the entire time.
No, maybe Bayonetta 3, Metal Gear Solid 2's us, and you just don't play
plays
as
Raiden the entire
Bayonetta.
time.
Yeah, you play as Raiden the entire time. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what
pretty
I'm
big.
open for.
Do you guys think this has a bigger impact on further future stories about voice acting and the support around voice acting?
Nope,
No,
not
it
anymore.
doesn't have a negative.
Not anymore.
Nope. This story now gets remembered as what it is, which is a clusterfuck.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess you can have the negative effect where now do people doubt if a voice actor comes forward and says they've got a terrible working situation? Do people begin to doubt that now because of this story? Or
I don't think so.
is this story the anomaly?
I think this is the anomaly. Like,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, I don't know how much people care about how much voice actors, like on the whole, how much people care about voice actors getting paid. Obviously, in the the story I saw brought up in reference to this was the voice actor for Mob Psycho 100 came out and was like, hey, can we have better working conditions? And he got sacked by Crunchyroll for the dub got replaced. And everybody's just kind of moved on, So it's a kind of a thankless job. It's in so much regards, obviously, because they're faceless.
Yeah, no one actually cares about her or her being the performance. They care because
did you know who the actress was?
No, I had no fucking clue. But that's the thing. I don't feel like most people do. I feel the only reason a lot of people are either picking sides is because they're big Bayonetta fans, so they're obviously on that side. They're sticking up for the game and it's and Platinum because they love the game. They don't actually care about like workers' rights or like that sort of stuff. That's not where it comes from. Maybe, of course, small percentage. There's a percentage, but I think the majority is like it's either. And then the other side are like just those people that are like happy to jump on the. Yeah, I fucking always hate Platinum games, so fuck these people. Like shit like that. So, it's a weird one. It's another thing is like there could be. So in the world where it's like, okay, so by all accounts, I don't know what It's hard to be like, I think someone's lying or there's even more to the story, but like I'm choosing if I'm picking a side because that's what we're going to do. All the reporting to me is I'm choosing to believe all that reporting because it's just multiple accounts and all this sort of stuff. But even then, I don't think the true story is either good. It's not good either. Like I still think that for people who are like, that's a lot of money. I'm like, no, it's not because voice actor roles is a gig by gig. So you don't have
how much dialogue was there in the Bayonetta games?
There's a lot of there's a fair chunk of cutscenes and like all the like quips between. There's not a shit ton though. Like I definitely believe the 5 to 6 sessions that are like
4-hour sessions or something like that.
Like that are 4 to 6 hours or whatever each. I think that's definitely that sounds about right for the Bayonetta. Like it's an 8 to 10 hour game. You know what I mean? Like it's not super long or whatever. But
yeah.
So I think I definitely feel like and the thing is I'm not like you can't say like, oh, how much is this actually worth or that sort of thing. The thing I would say as someone like just from comparing this to like other things like movies or whatever else, it's the royalties sort of thing that stands out to me. So maybe you do the first game and then the second game you get a slight pay increase. I think by the time you get to a third game, I think that she or anyone that's doing the third of a franchise, you should get a pay bump as you go up. Like you should get paid more for each entry in a franchise, and I definitely feel like for a character that's in Super Smash Bros. Had an anime movie, like all the like it's the other thing, Bayonetta's not a huge franchise. The last game sold under 1 million copies or whatever. Like people are talking about this game like they should be able to pay billions of dollars. I'm like, Bayonetta is not a big game. No, Bayonetta's not a big game. But it is like a well-known character, so I actually do think that for this sort of thing, like someone seeking royalties or something like that, I don't think is an unfair discussion on the third game. It's not a discussion I think people should have on the first, barely ever, because there's no reason to lock that in. But on the third game for a franchise, I do think that's a discussion that should be had. And that's why you should join a union and, that's what their job would be to help sort of coordinate and help you have these conversations. But yeah, I can't say if the money's like good or bad or what have you. Like I have no fucking clue, but.
I don't know about royalties. It's like royalties in video games doesn't seem like it's going to be feasible in this world where Game Pass is becoming increasingly the future of games, unfortunately. And, there's no way to get royalties on a streaming service.
It's a Switch game. Exclusive.
No, but like in general for the industry as well.
No.
I think royalties is not a dangerous.
It's a
people get royalties though in animation, music, movies.
But it's getting lower and lower. It's like almost, barely anything. Yeah. Each of those industries is different as well.
I'm not trying to say 100%. I think she should have been paid like $1 per extra sale or something. I
and
think
then
that is
also does the voice actress who just says what do we say? Worked for 20 hours gets royalties on this game forever. Whereas the developers wouldn't necessarily get that, or they deserve more. And then everybody's getting royalties, and then then is a company going, well, there's no point making this game because half the profit's going to all this stuff, all these other people.
I definitely feel it's a case by case scenario, and for characters that are like where there's so much personality, like, and the character was originally sort of brought to life with the performance. I definitely feel like it's a discussion that could be had with certain very specific characters and voice actors.
The thing is, in a situation with, I would say 90% of voice actors, and this might be a hot take compared to my also brick and mortar store should close down, any voice actor is replaceable. Any voice actor is, in any situation...
Wrong. You try and make that Mario movie about Chris Pratt. Say the line, Ash.
Wrong. They didn't replace Lionel.
Say the line.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Thank you.
That's so much better than Chris Pratt.
You try and tell me he doesn't deserve extra money for that.
Yeah. But yes, everybody is replaceable.
It is interesting. But yeah, I feel the thing is, people who don't know anything, including us, right, about voice acting. I know nothing about the business of how much voice actors get paid in games, fucking anime, whatever. I know absolutely fuck all. So I'm just voicing my generalized opinion about if I think a character actor should maybe get paid extra for like royalties. I'm not touching how much they should get paid. I have no fucking clue. But the problem is that everyone on Twitter, they're fucking experts, aren't they? They are fucking experts. Man.
Everybody on the internet's an expert.
You got over here, you've got $4,000, $5,000 a session. That's fucking heaps. Over here, you've got, that's fuck all. They should get paid $50,000 a session. Where do these people get the information from? The same fucking place. Their heads. They have no fucking clue. And everyone's just voicing their opinion like they're the smartest person in the
I guess I guess always my perspective is that 20 grand is like a third of my yearly salary right now.
Do you know how much actors get paid in Hollywood?
Yeah, it's fucking obscene. It's fucking ridiculous.
But it's a completely different industry.
It's a different industry.
And like, so much of, like, obviously we're talking on the bigger scale, so much of that, it's not the actual acting, it's the stuff they're doing around the acting, the promotion of the projects and that kind of stuff that is what they're actually paying for. That's why Chris Pratt keeps getting jobs. Because he's happily do all the promo for all these things. He just hates Mondays.
Yeah.
He's going to be Garfield.
The thing, that was what I was saying. But the thing is with certain voice actors and stuff, it is a fuck. I'm trying to think of the job. It's like a fuck. What's the word? I can't remember. Anyway, it's like, you know, you do a job and then you're jobless. You don't have a consistent.
It's a freelance job.
It's like freelance. Yeah. So you're from one job to another. So that's why the money should be higher than your normal average. Hey, I'm full time at fucking Coles. You know, that's why. It's also the fact of I spend, and this is the reason she drops it in her initial video, is I spend 10 years of my life and however many hundreds of thousands of dollars that you go into debt in paying for to study. And then the idea is that because you obviously put so much time, effort, and money into something, you get a massive like degree for arts or whatever the fuck you get from acting school. You know, like there is a degree of that is also a part of it. You're looking like I'm insane. That is not.
But you know, just because you got a degree doesn't mean you're entitled to get paid well. Not entitled to get work.
I do think to a degree, yes.
In an arts form. So casting directors should be like, hey, you know.
It's not even like art.
This person's got a degree. He's got so much to pay off. We've got to give him a job.
You study to become a surgeon, right? You spend all those years and money, and that shit's not cheap to go to school for, right? You spend all that money and that training, and you become a surgeon. You get paid a fuck ton as a surgeon. Yeah,
but if you're a shit surgeon, then you don't get.
No, yeah,
you're not going to get kept as a surgeon.
You won't get jobs. That's the same. Yeah, that's the same. But I'm not saying that like you should automatically get paid more. But I'm saying if you study to become a surgeon and you're fucking hired and you're good at your job, you're going to get paid a fair chunk of change. I don't feel like that's any different to spending years and years of your life and paying a fuck ton of money to study and become an actor. And then you are good at your job and you get hired at your job. When you're actually hired, you get paid at a higher rate than fucking working at McDonald's. Like I, as someone who's usually on this show with the more socialist thing, I'm definitely not going to come on here and say that voice actors are surgeons because you get paid the same amount as fucking McDonald's workers. Like, that is insane. I definitely feel like certain jobs get overpaid.
I don't know if that Domino's employee is like really good at their job.
Maybe.
Then maybe they deserve it.
I don't feel like that's a hot take. I don't feel like that's a hot take. I definitely feel like there are sections of the world where I'm absolutely gobsmacked and people are like actors get paid way too much in Hollywood, in my opinion. Way too much, like the millions of dollars they're getting paid. I have no idea why they need to be paid. I understand the reason is because it's a multi-million-dollar industry. There's that much money in it, so they get paid that much. But you often just think, you're like, they don't need that much money, and no one needs that much money. You think about the amount of money that like billion-dollar, million-dollar like people in like
trickle down economics.
It doesn't though, because they fucking hold on to it and they hoard it and they buy
because they've got to pay for the manager, they've got to pay for the makeup artist.
Yeah.
They also generally live in LA, which is like the highest,
the most
tax.
expensive. They got to pay for their hotels they're staying in.
They don't though. They get them for free.
Not the hot.
That's it.
All I think is,
that's
all I think
if
is
you
we're
are
going.
in the
I don't think
1%,
Mark Rylance is getting free hotels. You know what I mean?
Yes, he is.
Oh my god, we're going way off track here. We're talking about let's go back a bit towards video games. I just think video games doesn't have the infrastructure or the foundations in place for it to be anywhere close to Hollywood, for voice actors especially, and especially. I'm sorry.
I feel like voice actors are such a smaller part of the pie as compared to
100%.
actors in movies and TV shows.
Yeah, whereas, voice actors
I call bullshit because why the fuck do we like The Last of Us? Why do we like Uncharted?
Because of the gameplay and the
you're
story
fucking
that
wrong.
they wrote.
The thing is, right, would you be able to play the game without the work of the developers and the people on the team, or would you be able to play the game without the voice actors?
No, it's a collaborative project, but that's no different than film. Like a very good performance is nothing if it's not shot
film,
well,
though.
edited well, scored well, directed well. The fucking performance is still part of that.
The thing is, right, the people shooting it are working an equal, if not more time, or a closer variance in time than the actors on screen.
Yep. You're also like making this a weird like against the developers thing when I like totally are on board for
it's just
developers should get paid more and voice actors should get paid more too. How about that?
Yeah, everybody should be paid more, but we don't want to pay for video games anymore. So it's a conundrum.
we should get developers paid more before the voice actors are paid more.
Yeah, okay. But I didn't know it was trying to pick. I thought that's what I was like, where the fuck?
It's not about picking, but when we've got
no, it's like a percentage thing. Maybe developers get a 1% bump, voice actors get a 0.5% bump.
And like it's a thing. It's a discussion thing around people support voice actors because
it also depends on the project as well. That's the other.
It depends on the project, but also voice actors have an outward face for the industry and probably a louder kind of voice in the industry than individual developers working on in a team. Like, your Jennifer Hales, your Troy Bakers, your Nolan Norths. You can search up their work really easily. You can know this person has done this work. I think it's far harder to know developers from an industry standpoint of, well, at least the wider community around the industry, to understand exactly how much effort and work a single developer has put into the game.
Yeah. They also are committed to this game longer than the voice actors.
Very much so. Generally, a developer will work on one game for years, where a voice actor could do several games. In the space
feel like we're doing exactly what I was saying people online were doing, where they're picking a team, weirdly.
Well, I'm not picking a team, though.
We're just stating the facts, though.
You're saying like
it's not.
You're saying like developers should get the. But like they're just.
We're not picking a team. I'm saying. Sorry, I might not have articulated properly. I get it. Royalties and stuff are definitely something that should be discussed. But I think it's a smaller problem down the line in terms of the video game industry and the financials of a whole of the industry.
Yeah, if I was ranking issues, I'd say like crunch and like sexual assault and all these things are number one. But like they're all conversations that I think can happen at the same time and you like but they're taken care of in different
I don't think they
parts.
can be. I don't think they can be had at the same time. Though.
Well, they can because the thing with the voice actors is all the voice actors don't work in just video games. Where's the crossover? Quite often, all the voice actors in video games also work in anime. And what's another topic that comes up quite often? Anime actors and voice actors, Ash has brought one up for fucking Mob Psycho, get treated like shit as well. There's a cross pollination between anime voice actors and video game voice actors because they're quite often the same people. So it's not just a video game issue. We're now talking about the anime industry issue, which is the voice actor issue as a whole. So that if you can sort of focus that over here, that's fucking anime, some video games as well, but a lot of it is actually anime. That's where the wider problem with voice actors is.
No,
it's actually to do mostly with anime, and you quite often see stories about crunch in voice acting, dubbing for anime to get stuff out super fast, leading to crunch, leading to underpay, leading to bad working conditions. Like I see you see these stories come up all the fucking time, and then that crosses over to hey, they're treated like shit in their 80% of their work life, which is doing anime work, and then 20% these people come over and do a couple of video games a year, and because they're treated shit in the majority of the work, they're treated shit in video games as well. Cross-pollination. And then everyone in video games is like, well, we already treat our fucking people making our games like shit, so why don't we treat the people coming across to voice the characters we just got made being treated like shit? And let's treat them like shit. So everyone treats each other like shit, and it's a big old shit fuck fest. But yeah, I would say the voice actor issue is more like an anime industry issue to fix. And if they fix the shit there, I think it trickles across to the video game industry because I think it's like a trickle-on effect. So yeah, if you want me to like sort of coordinate and give the jobs to people, I would say anime industry, you fix your fucking VA issues that's going on over there, and video game industry, you fix your fucking crunch issues that's happening over here, and then everyone come together and be a happy good time would be my...
Well, I mean, if everybody just joined the union, then there wouldn't be an issue, right?
Well,
Voice actors, SAG or whatever. But then you get another issue of like video games is so difficult because there's such a wide scale of budgets and sizes and that kind of stuff. Like if you start putting minimums, you kind of scale the lower end projects into having people, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a very complicated and nuanced issue that we're not going to solve
we just
during this
solved
podcast.
Solved it. Done it.
But yeah, I mean, it's good to have the discussion, you know, hopefully, you know, it's resolved at some point. Obviously, there are a bunch of studios that do voice work fantastically. I imagine a lot of all the big like Western studios, I would imagine, and like actual Japanese studios, like they have you don't hear any issues of that kind of stuff over there.
Not to say it doesn't exist, you just don't hear about it.
Yeah, maybe because it's in another
they're
language.
They're less likely to talk over there.
Actually, I don't think you see much in like actual Japan with the voice actors because they're like held in a higher regard than
they're actually treated like
Western.
So yeah,
they're treated like actual.
You know where
people.
that comes from though? The fucking anime industry. You know what the anime?
Yeah, because
know what the
anime industry is
like
treated equal to television.
They're treated like real fucking big celebrities because they treat their anime voice actors like fucking celebrities over there. You know what anime voice actors in Hollywood, America, for the rest of us in English is treated like? Dog shit. You're just going over someone's work. That's all that. So they're not treated like the Japanese original voice actors. Truth. It's the truth. And you're going to go, there is a degree to it.
Some of them.
I don't think so because like if you watch an anime dubbed and you remember the fucking voice of the person who dubbed it, like if you say who the fuck voiced Goku, I'm not going to say who I remember as a little kid hearing the fucking dub. I don't know who the fucking Japanese voice actor is. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's right, weebs.
Yeah, okay. So you buying Bayonetta 3?
Yeah. Is that what
Japanese?
the lead? No, I'll play this. As I have no problem.
Are you gonna be super excited when Bayonetta dies in the first?
It's gonna be really fucking awkward if that's actually what happens. No, I'm still excited for. I'm still excited.
Why do they need it for 4 sessions if she dies in the first?
Yeah, I think all these people who are like jumped onto that's it. Everyone should not play Bayonetta bandwagon. I bet you if you've done some digging, these old people who like fucking have no issue playing Hogwarts and they're just trying to get one back or something like that. You know, they're like, yeah, fucking.
Hey, look at this game with a problem.
Look at this game with a problem. I'm like, these things aren't equal at all. Not to say they're not both issues, but if we're doing the ranking of issues on this episode of Arcade Couch, I can guarantee fucking trans rights issues more important than voice actor pay issues. Sorry.
Wow. Whoa.
Putting it out there. I don't think that's a hot take. You tell me that's a hot take. You tell me it's a hot take that
Let's put it out on
trans
the
issues aren't
Twitter.
bigger. No, do not put a fucking troll thing on Twitter for that.
Put a poll right now. Which one is bigger?
No. I'll delete that shit so fucking hard. I'll fucking overwrite everything you do so hard. I'll have to put out a tweet following that saying, sorry, Ash tweeted that. He has been revoked his Twitter rights for next month on his Explosion account. I was talking about video games. Woo! That's right. Let's talk about Batman. He dead. Let's talk about the
Is there a Batman game?
He dies in the first 15 minutes of the game. Spoilers.
What?
Crazy.
Literally the first 15 minutes, because that is just one big old cutscene.
Man, damn.
So Ciaran has been playing Gotham Knights, and I'll get him to go over his thoughts in a second, but I want to shout out if you want to know the Australian quality critics average, it's currently at a 6.5 is what we're sitting at for this. Now you may be like,
Quality critics.
yeah, what is a
What's
what's a quality critics? It's I've been putting up these articles sometimes on explosionhour.com where it's just like review roundups, and I've been doing them for a little while, but I purposely just been picking and choosing the Australian critics. Then the other day, Ash was like, I thought it was a funny idea driving home or whatever the other day. What if you did like an open critic site, but it was Australians only, and it's like called Quality Critics, like koala, quality. And I go, that's pretty fucking funny. So, and then this is within 12 hours, I turn this around to, you know what? I got to post one this morning for Gotham Knights. So I'm sitting there, I'm writing it up. I'm like, fuck, I can just do it now. Quality critics. Get a picture of a koala, put a fucking number in front of it. It's an aggregator. But you know what? Lots of positive feedback so far on the quality critics. Quality critics. Yeah, so it's got a 6.5 average score. So I will continue doing these because I don't mind putting these. The reason I started doing these is because I'd see other sites do them, but it would be American only. So people would do review roundups. It would have IG in America. It would have GameSpot. It would have all these big sites. I go, I don't fucking care about those sites. I want to know what the Australian sites. I want to know what Well Played said. I want to know what fucking Impress Start said.
Do you know what we should
Well
do?
Played. They've
Well
got nice
Played.
boys.
Yeah, fucking hell.
We should, whoever gets the highest quality critic score at the end of each year, we should send a box of caramello koalas to the studio.
I mean, you can't. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we'll do it next year. Make it a next year thing, like a full 2020.
Next year, we'll run it through.
We'll keep a running. We'll keep a running spreadsheet.
You watch next year when Explosion Network gets an all-time high amount of game codes and review codes and review opportunities because these fucking devs want some fucking caramello koalas.
Yeah. So just to clarify for everyone, no, we're not actually opening an actual aggregator site. That would be really awkward when we write reviews. I feel like there's conflict of interest there potentially. But these articles that you may have seen go up, like literally 2 went up early in the week. I posted for both Plague Tale and the fuck was the other one? I can't remember.
Sparks of Hope.
Sparks? What?
Mario plus Rabbids.
Right, yeah, Mario plus Rabbids and Plague Tale. And those 2 articles are just called review roundups, whatever. A couple days later, after Ash has his like big
Rebranded.
light bulb moment, we're now rebranded. If you scroll to the bottom of the article, 6.5 quality rating. It's done.
With a picture of a koala.
Yeah, we've got ideas to expand upon this and make it better, but it's
You know what, Bevan's going to be pissed. We replaced a penguin with a fucking koala.
yeah. So just quickly go over it for
Couldn't
you.
find a pun for the penguin.
Here's
So.
the scores that I'll go over. So Any Game gave it a 7 out of 10. Shout out to Joel. Checkpoint Gaming 7.5. Explosion Out Ciaran gave it a 7.5. Come back to him in a second. GameSub gave 4 out of 5. Kotaku unscored, but they didn't speak highly of it. Maxi Geek 6.5. Power Up Gaming 6.5. Press Start 7.5. Survivor 4 out of 10. Well Played 5 out of 10. Oof, the Dyson man hated it. Ciaran 7.5. What are your thoughts on Gotham Knights?
It's crazy. Like reading through and looking at stuff, this game is wildly divisive. Like I've seen scores as those as like 4s and 5s for this, as well as all the way up to your 8s and your 8.5. So
I think I saw someone give it a 9.
I thought I saw a 9. I just didn't want to commit to that just in case. But this is a very divisive game, it seems to be. As a whole, I actually really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed my time. It was something great to fill up my flood period with jumping in and playing through Gotham Knights. I think the positives for this game, I do think the base of this game's really good. Like I think I really love the 4 main characters. I love what they've done with the individual characters. I love the opportunities. I think this is very conflictive, where I've seen reviews that say people are like, oh, the combat system is the worst, it's boring, and other people being like, the combat system is absolutely great. And I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I think the combat system starts off really simple and really kind of bland, and then the later you get into this game, the more skills you add into this game, the more momentum abilities you get, the better and more fun this game is. I think by the end of the game, you do feel like your character is a powerful superhero. Like I do feel like I'm controlling fights, and then I'm strong and I'm powerful, compared to some other ones where, you get to later in the game and you're still getting your ass handed to you by random fucking mobs of just, random gangsters.
Let me butt in here quickly, because this is something you said when we were playing together. So I played a couple hours. I had to play a little bit to unlock co-op, but then I played like maybe another hour with Ciaran. I said when we was playing, you said that you were saying how much you loved the combat. And at the time I said like, oh wow, really? I don't think it's very good. And the reason I don't, and I think that my opinion won't change, because I don't want it to be super easy. I don't actually want it to feel powerful. I love the Arkham combat because it is about counters, flying around, all this stuff. So the combat for this game, for people listening who haven't like played or whatever, it is, you have an attack, you have you have a melee button, you have a range combat button, you have a dodge button, and then you have a wheel. You can hold down R1 or whatever it is, and then you have the 4 face buttons, which you can assign a super attack sort of.
But
thing.
Also for your melee button, you hold your melee button for a strong melee. You hold your ranged weapon for a strong ranged attack, and then also the momentum abilities. There's actually 8 abilities. There's 1 for each face button, and then there's 1 for holding each face button as well. And by the end of the game, you get 4 momentum slots, so you earn them while you're fighting. So you could just kind of use abilities on the go. And I think the thing is, maybe easy is the wrong word. I just feel like, unlike the Arkham games, I think you get plenty of options for the combat. You get plenty of options of. So I spent a lot of time playing as Nightwing. So Nightwing has a very good and sustainable single target abilities that either push people back or block combos. He's also got spinning moves that is a large area of effect. He also chucks down a large force field around himself that acts as healing and damage over time to everything around him, which comes in handy for some of the enemy types in later that you actually need damage over time abilities to make them easier. I think easy, it's probably the wrong word, and I think the other thing that comes into it is the gear system, which isn't the greatest implementation for a gear system. It is very simple. It is very much just
you forget to mention the fact that when you punch enemies in this game, you have numbers flying off them.
You have numbers flying off the game. It's very much an RPG. Like, it's very much a gear-based RPG system. So big number, better. Yep. And the case where you get your gear and you put mods onto it, it was quite funny because we found out when we were playing co-op, I could jump into Dylan's game with my almost max level Nightwing character, and even though it scaled down my numbers, I still had access to all my abilities. I was still 3-hitting enemies.
It brought the enemies up too, so the enemies were actually a lot harder for me, but they were they were easier for you. But they sort of beat them in the middle or whatever.
Yes, yeah. So and so it was. Different. I think it is interesting. All 4 characters level at the same rate, so you don't have to keep playing each character to level them. They're all going to be the same level. The problem will be when you go to play the other characters, their gear doesn't automatically upgrade. So there is a chance you could kind of get to a character, be like, I want to play as Red Hood for a bit, but you don't have leveled gear, and gear is quite impactful. Like, you can feel the difference if you haven't upgraded your gear for a little while. You can start to feel yourself hitting weaker and taking more damage and having that. So I think in terms of the combat, I like the combat. It isn't perfect. It's by no means fantastic. I think it's something that you have to put time into to love. I think it is very much the longer you play, the more you get used to it and the more you enjoy it. On top of that, I think this game is very Arkham. This game definitely even though it's not a direct installment in the Arkham series and it's not related to that universe, it is still taking on the cowl of Arkham. There is still your open Gotham City environment. Yeah. There is still traversing through the world on the Batbike.
I want to say quickly, so we're playing together. You're fucking flying around on your cape
on my glider
thing, right? This game makes a wacky decision that from the start of the game, no matter what 4 character you pick, none of them have access to their gliding thing. So
nobody gets access to their
Batgirl can't glide. Yeah. I start the game, first building I jump off. I'm holding X in, thinking like I'm playing an Arkham game. I jump, I hold X, Batman fucking glides. No. Batgirl, no, I gotta unlock that shit. I'm like, that's wild.
Yeah, I think later on, it isn't hard to unlock, but it is a wild thing, and I think it's supposed to encourage you to do crimes and stuff around the world. There is a lot more kind of active things to attend, like your very classic RPG open world system where it is a little grindy or a little doing objectives that can be very repetitive. But yeah, I think overall this game's okay. The traversal, other than Dill's problem with the gliding, I think traversal as a whole is very clunky and very frustrating at times. I think the grapple gun isn't the best grapple gun in gaming. It will often shoot you to a different ledge than you've actually targeted. Or I think there's one point very early in the game where you're supposed to sneak through a room that is filled up with SWAT members. And I didn't sneak through the room. I grappled from one side right to the other to get to the exit. And I didn't have to do the thing. Like it was very hit and miss if the grappling gun was good. And then on top of that, the basic running and acrobatics and the just feel clunky and they feel stiff. And on top of that, the Batbike is not that fun to drive. It's very
it's not. I've found driving the bike not exciting.
Yeah, that's 100% why I even when we were playing, I was barely driving the bike. I was just grappling off stuff and then gliding around because it was just how I was used to traveling around the city at that point. The story-wise, I think the story is generally a big disappointment for me. I was so excited when 2019, Halloween 2019, WB Games puts out a teaser picture of an owl symbol on their Twitter, and then they don't talk about anything else, but it's don't for fucking months. And everybody instantly gets excited for a Court of Owls game. And Court of Owls, for those who haven't experienced it, is a very popular and famous Batman storyline that is very much filled with intrigue and interest, and it's the original storyline of Batman, Batman's death and the situation around that. So to hear that coming into this game, I was very excited. I was excited for the mystery and the intrigue. It falls very flat, and the court is very much used as a mechanism to kind of drive the story that they actually want to tell, and the story they want to tell is kind of boring and generic in the long run. It's funny when they run the mystery of who is the leader of the Court of Owls, and it just happens to be the one unknown character they've recently introduced into the story randomly for no reason and no real explanation. I think, it falls flat on its face. It is predictable. It is the biggest thing, and I pick up this in my review, and the weird thing is I haven't, from the articles I've read today, there's not many people that have either picked up on this or found issue with this as I have, is that the game Gotham Knights is not about multiple knights. It's really about whichever character you choose to play throughout the entire game. I think at the start of the game, I played through the first 4 or 5 missions, giving each one of the characters to have a go with, just to try, because they all do play differently. Batgirl can hack cameras and hack explosives around the world. Robin's very good at stealth. Red Hood is a brawler, and Nightwing is kind of your middle-of-the-road leader of the group, but also very acrobatic in combat. And I settled on Nightwing, not just because he's my favorite character, but also because he very much fits my play style in the game. So as soon as I picked Nightwing and played through Nightwing the rest of the game, it just became Nightwing's game. It just became Nightwing the game in the end for me, because there's very little interaction with the other 3 main cast members, other than whenever you go back to the Belfry, which is the clock tower base headquarters for the 4 of them. That's the only main time you interact with them. Other than that, you get messages from them during missions where their little picture pops up in the corner and they're talking to you. But you just get the sense that the other three are sat in desk chairs in front of the back computer talking to you while you're on the mission. You don't get the sense that they're also doing things that coincide with this mission, or that they're also on patrol. They're also dealing with another issue.
Luckily,
you don't.
When we finally play co-op, it fixed issues, right?
Fuck no. And I was really hoping that. And this was the main thing. I played with Dylan after I'd finished the game. I literally just finished the game. Dylan was like, hey, I'm up to the point where we can play co-op. I was like, sweet, I'll jump into co-op. I really hope this fixes my issue. It does not. The second character does not exist in that game. As soon as you go to a cutscene, it's just whoever is the first player or the host of the lobby, it's just their character in the cutscenes. No interaction with the second character. And this is for a game that built all of its marketing on this co-op system. And on multiple characters. And the game, and the name of the game is Gotham Knights, as if there's multiple knights. Like, the game finishes on this, like, it's not a spoiler, but it finishes on this kind of Batman-esque monologue from whichever character you finish the last mission on. And it doesn't feature any of the other three characters. And you're like, oh, okay, is this not anything to do with the Gotham Knights then as a whole? Like, there's some touching stuff about them overcoming the grief and the loss of Bruce Wayne and then taking on the city of Gotham, but beyond that, not really.
My favorite story.
Like
so we were laughing after. I haven't told you this. It was fucking making me laugh. So you and I played. The last mission we do is this Harley Quinn mission, right? Like in prison or whatever. So you're playing as Nightwing. I'm playing as Batgirl. So we do this mission. They're the two characters who in my story were there. Even though every time we went to a cutscene and Harley's talking to a character, Nightwing's disappeared and it's just Batgirl sitting there talking to Harley. But in my head, I'm like, Nightwing was there. Nightwing was here on this mission. It was
hiding in the shadows.
It was Batgirl and Nightwing on this mission. So we go back to the Belfry after this. You quit the game, you leave. I have the game sitting there. I'm just like sort of on my phone, like checking Twitter or whatever in the background. In the background, I hear Jason Todd start speaking, talking to Alfred. Man, crazy shit just happened. Will's at the thing. Harley Quinn's crazy, man. I'm suddenly like, motherfucker, what? You were not there. You were not there at all. In fact, the fact that they were hiding my mate Nightwing, who I know was there, he was on this mission with me, but I couldn't see him in the cutscenes, but he was on the mission. And now Jason's over here like, Harley Quinn's a crazy bitch, motherfucker. You know, like, I'm like, you weren't there.
Gaslighting you.
Yeah.
Gaslighting.
I was like, I appreciate the game's having this all banner as I'm sitting here not doing anything, but you weren't there. Okay, you're lying to Alfred. He doesn't deserve this. He just lost Bruce.
It's also the thing about, say, when I was swapping the characters when I was swapping characters throughout the early missions, the characters act like they were the one on the last mission.
Yeah.
Like, even though you fucking swap characters and it was fucking Nightwing that just talked to this person, the other person's like, hey, remember that thing we just did a couple minutes ago? Yeah, I was there too. You're like, what the fuck? No, you weren't. Like, I don't know. It struggles around the identity of selling itself as a as this co-op experience about the team of 4 Gotham Knights, but then not really capitalizing on that story or having that included in the writing of the story. The climax of the game and like the big crescendo and the reveal of this game at the end, only one of your characters is there to experience. And in the story and the way it's written, there's physically no way the other 3 characters can be a part of that. They are completely cut off in that situation. So it just highly alienates the point. So I would like to
I'd like to ask you a big question.
I'd like to lobby them to remove the S from the title of this game and just be Gotham Knight, because that's all it is.
Here's my big question.
Go for it.
Before we wrap up on Gotham Knights. You gave the game a 7.5. I feel like you've just done nothing but talk shit on it.
Yes.
So why did you give it a 7.5?
I still... I wouldn't have put the time into it I did if there wasn't a good game here. If the game was as shit as a lower score demands, I would have just beelined through the main story and finished the game. But there was multiple hours I spent clearing the entire map on a night, because when you start a night for a mission, then the world is populated with crimes and with things you can do around the map, with time trials for your whatever your mode of transport is, for races for the bat bike, little caches to find for Bruce's audio logs.
The bat bike better than the tank?
No. So I had a hot take when we was playing. I did say when we was playing, I was like, Bat Tank is better than this, and Ciaran while was playing,
Bat
was like,
better. Yeah, I don't know about that,
but that's why I'm saying Batmobile and Arkham Knight way better than the bikes.
I will say where this game does excel, and something I haven't mentioned it is the side missions, the side case files. They are featured around Harley Quinn, Dr. Freeze, and Clayface, and they all have very interesting stories around them, and they all have very deep and fun missions. Like the fun mission that the mission that Dylan and me were doing at the end of like kind of when we were playing is Harley Quinn gives you this information, but she attaches it to a balloon, and the balloon is this giant ass unicorn that just self-propels itself through a prison.
Strong winds.
Strong winds. So, and you're fighting your way through this prison riot, and at the same time, there is a punk rock rendition of Livin' Da Vida Loca playing at the same time. And I remember playing through that the first time. I was like, this is fucking dope. This is really fun. And I think all three of those side cases have interesting aspects and great gameplay aspects and aesthetics to them. And they all have interesting storylines. They all have like ramifications based on the fact that Bruce Wayne is no longer alive and Batman's no longer alive. And seeing that play out. I put time into this game. I did love the combat aspect of this game. Though on the loot system, though it fucked me out of a legendary item at one point, I still kind of enjoyed the loot system. It was interesting. It could have been way better. It could have been more fun. But at the same time, there is something in my stupid lizard brain that goes, a big number better. So, like, to see that number growing and including and crafting items was a lot of fun. And I do enjoy the game in that aspect. Yes, it could have been written way better. Yes, it could have used this platform of multiple characters way better. But in terms of a Batman game, it's still, it's still fun to be going through Gotham. Gotham is still an interesting place. Yes, it's very dark, and sometimes it's very hard to distinguish different, kind of when you're riding around. Like, I don't think I ever got to the point in games where I could just ride around without the GPS system. Like, I needed the GPS system to be able to make my way around the city because it's very kind of convoluted in terms of its city and street design. But I still loved it. I still enjoyed it. I still think if people are fans of Batman, they should pick this game up because I think this game does have some... He's at the start. He's in 15 minutes.
That's true.
They gave him a 15-minute cutscene.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
Like, I still think people should pick it up and play it and give it a try. Like, it's if you're not, if you're not a Rabbids fan, if you're not into Plague Tale, pick it up. Like, it's a fun game. You can pick out your character, level up, and play through the story. Even just playing on the easiest game mode and just enjoy yourself. Yeah, I still think it's good. It's just not what it could
not as good
be.
as you want it to be.
Exactly, 100%.
How are you feeling, Ash? Because I assume you were looking forward to this, right?
I was. I didn't pick it up today, so
yeah, you got something else to play anyway. It's fine.
I do, yeah. So and we're very busy here. There's so many movies to watch at the moment. So,
so yeah, we should have new Tales from Borderlands from Ash next week because we got the code for that just before.
Maybe
you got to play it between next week.
Yeah, I've got I've got a lot of screenings this next week, so it's rough.
You're gonna start the game.
Are you fucking? Oh, you're a piece of shit. If you don't, I will be mad.
I can't guarantee by next. Well, I'll have.
If you don't, I will be mad because
I can't guarantee I'll finish the game by next week. I'll try, but I don't know how long it is.
I don't know. All I know is if you haven't started by next week, I'll be like, how the fuck?
I will start.
I was like, how the fuck have you started it in a week? Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll be next
Maybe.
week. Fucking hell. Do my head in. Anyway.
It's installed, so that's a good start.
Yeah, good stuff. So Wild Hearts, I want to talk about that quickly. So this is I played it, literally did a event for this. So this is the pitch for this one.
It's like the morning before PAX, right?
The day before PAX.
No, but before you flew out.
I wrote the preview Thursday when I got to Melbourne. The game was Wednesday night, and I flew out Thursday morning. Yeah, so good timing. To be fair, it was a worldwide thing, so it wasn't like they were thinking of Australia.
You forgot to publish it, right?
No.
Was that the thing that happened at one point?
No. The fuck? No. But this is the game. So Wild Hearts was announced like a month ago. It was so it's a combination between Koei Tecmo, Megaforce, and EA Originals to put this one together. It is basically Monster Hunter. Like that is the easiest pitch. It is for people who like it is a monster hunting game. It's Monster Hunter-ish. I think it's from what I played, I really enjoyed it so far. As someone who always likes these type of games but finds Monster Hunter to be very convoluted and hard, and the mainline ones especially, like just too many systems and stuff. I really enjoyed what I played so far in this. So the things that you can play, I'm not gonna bother with the story. Like it's like no, there's this creatures, whatever. Like it's fine. We'll get more into that later when the full game comes out. But so the creatures, because it's been a while since I played it, they're called what the fuck are they called? I want to get the things right. All right, so the beasts are called kimono. That's what they're called. And so the two main things you have to remember for this game is the beasts are called kimono, and they're all these big creatures that the way they look is sort of based on the environment that they're in. So like the first big-ish beast I fought was this rat sort of thing, and it's like infused with a rosebud, and like it's got all these flowery elements onto it. Like it becomes part of its nature. The last boss big beast I fought was this massive boar that you can see in the trailer, the most recent trailer for the game. That was very cool. These are long battles. I mean, they take like 20, 30 minutes. I'm sure like ones later in the game. That's so different to like a Monster Hunter game. Anyway, but just so you know, these aren't like quick battles or anything. You can play the entirety of the game single player. You can play it with 3 other people in co-op. It's going to have cross-play at launch. So I think the game straight away is set for a pretty good stand. I think cross-play at launch, 3 players, that's fucking good to me. That's a good set. No cross-progression. You don't have cross-progression, but the rest of it is pretty good. The main thing though that makes this stand out, so you know, like a Monster Hunter game, you're just standing around, like maybe you're just hacking away, sort of dodging out of the way, you put up a shield, all that sort of stuff, like brute force sort of thing. The main thing that makes this game stand out is this stuff they call the Karakai technology. So early in the game, in the story part, you like nearly die to this beast, and then there's like shaman wizardy sort of thing. The game has a very like feudal Japan setting inspired sort of thing. Music, characters, buildings, all this sort of stuff. You get infused with this Karakai technology. It's like a fucking orb that looks like it's from another planet. But what it allows you to do is, and as the game progresses, you unlock more, is you're able to create objects in front of you. So the first one you unlock is a simple like jumping box. So you're charging towards a beast, you hold down, I can't remember what it was because it's been a few weeks since I played, but let's say it's like L1 a triangle or something, like to open up a wheel and drop this box. So you're running up to a beast, you drop this box in front of you, you jump on it, you leap up into the air off this fucking springboard box. You come down with like a big charge attack from there. You're like, whoa, like shit like that. Next thing you unlock is like a springboard box that when you just run over it on the ground and it launches you straight forward. So you can use this to either launch yourself directly at an enemy to attack it, or you can use it to escape. Oh no, this boar thing's charging at me. Fuck. You quickly drop this spring thing on the ground to you, and it launches you sideways so you can get out of the way. So you can use it for a defensive and evasive measures. And this game isn't about like blocking, parrying perfectly. It's about being able to do these long battles and just take the endurance of it. You know, like, yeah, if you have to dodge out of the way, heal, take the time, take the breather, then go back in. It's not about like rushing the fight, brute forcing. You're not going to defeat any of these battles in 2 minutes. Like they take time. You just got to be patient. So I did a few of the battles by myself, and they were fun enough, but the game definitely feels like it'll be most fun with friends. This is definitely the sort of thing where it's going to be really cool to play with people, because the second you have a few players dropping fucking springboard boxes, or you're jumping off one of theirs, because you can build them higher too. So like an enemy could be charging at you, and you could build on top of someone else's box so that you've got a 4-story springboard box, and you climb on top of that, and you fucking launch yourself way up into the air, and some other player follows forth, and next second you and this other player like in there like whoa, like coming down from the sky. It feels pretty fucking cool. I felt pretty cool doing it, to be honest. So it definitely has like a sort of like anime like fucking like a fucking whoa, like coming down from this stuff feels pretty cool. And then all of that stuff is persistent for your game. So the boxes you drop, think Death Stranding, think like where you put ladders, ropes, and all these sorts of things throughout the world. It's persistent. It builds down over time if it rains or whatever in that game. The stuff in this game will break, so monsters can break it, your boxes or whatever. But anything else that's left, it's persistent in your world. If you go join another player's game, wherever they've placed boxes and stuff, and that's because you can also use all of this stuff to get around. So the last thing I unlocked in the game in my time that was over was a zip line. So you can literally be on a mountaintop or whatever, like a thing, see a big old beastie down there you want to start a battle with. You zip line across to the other side of this cliff face. You can halfway come down, drop off that thing from the middle of the air again, and just like straight sword that motherfucker straight into the back. And you can also grab onto beasts in this. So you can jump onto the side of one, grab it, and start attacking it in the side like it's fucking Shadow of the Colossus or some shit. So you can like literally zip line, fall on, grab on, like start fucking attacking them in the side and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But then you can also just use the zip lines to get around the world. So you can like there's a hub area where you can do crafting, you get materials, all that sort of stuff you would expect from a game like this. Upgrade your sword, build better weapons, like there's bows, arrows, and all sorts of different weapons you unlock that play and use differently. But yeah, so you can have zipline set up from a battle. You can have a zipline set up to get you from an area where you're like farming a certain material straight back to your campfire because you want to go back there, save the game, rest, and make the craft stuff and whatever else. So I'm sure there's some simple sort of stuff I'm missing, but yeah, I thought from the 2 to 3 hours it took me to play through like the preview period, like hands-on that I got with it. I'm pretty keen on this game, to be honest. Like it's a genre that I don't have a lot of experience in, but it's one that I've always sort of wanted to get into. And I felt like this was super good. And especially if you're going to have some people to play with, and having it be cross-play opens up that spectrum way more, which is great to see. Yeah, I'm pretty keen. I would definitely have your eye on this. It is like, it sounds like a negative thing, but it is Monster Hunter light. It is like Monster Hunter for people who don't want to, like, who just want to focus more on the combat stuff without having to worry about like making sure they've got like the right gear and the right fucking thing to fight the monster. Like, yes, some gear in this game, like some stuff protects you better against fire or does more damage against fire creatures and stuff. That's all here, but it doesn't feel like you will get punished for not choosing the right gear and just like using whatever the fuck you want. So, I don't know. Does anyone, I know we talked about the trailer or whatever when it was announced, I think like prior to this, but yeah, after hearing me like talk positively about Lee, is it a game that do you think anyone would have your interest in, Ciaran, or?
I'll give it a try. I think I gave a try to Monster Hunter World and I just didn't fully click with it, or didn't feel like it was something I wanted to invest my time into. So definitely Wild Hearts would be something I'd like to jump into, give it a try and see just exactly if and how much I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's out February something. Fuck, do I have it here? February 17th, PS5, Xbox Series XS, and the big old PC. Yeah.
There's not much coming out around there, so it should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely clear sailing during that period of time next year.
100%. Nothing interesting coming to be out around there. So
what's the
probably
main,
won't miss it.
What's actually out? I forgot.
Isn't like everything out like end of Feb, start of March?
Let's have a look.
I was like, I can sense the sarcasm, but I've completely forgot what's actually coming out February. If this is
so February, what did we say?
February
7th. This is 17th or whatever.
So let's see. 3rd is Dead Island 2. 10th is some wizard game. 17th, Wild Hearts. 21st is Like a Dragon Inshin. Octopath Traveler 2 on the 24th. So I guess it's not crowded.
It's not that crowded.
It is literally the wizard game. That's the main one. But
I mean, Forspoken comes out on the 24th of January, and Dead Space comes out on the 27th of January.
That's a month later. I know we do this thing quite often where we're like, a month isn't much time video game universe, but I think in more recent years we've actually learnt that a month is plenty of time. People will happily buy The Last of Us Part 2 and a month later like buy Ghost of Tsushima. You know, like we learn our lesson, I feel, on this topic. A week
There's
later,
still time
yes.
for all the games we think going to come out in a couple of weeks are going to get delayed to
That's also true.
3rd February.
Like Bayonetta 3.
Let's talk about the little bit of news that we've had this week. Silent Hill had their first ever transmission, is what they called it. They're like first.
Sorry, that was a really weird fucking pause.
I forgot what it's called. Wait, what the?
It's like trans.
I was like
mission.
trans character, trans representation.
Silent Hill added their first trans character.
Look, it could have been. It could have.
You know who did? Apex
Trans
Legends.
character.
So shout outs.
Apex Terry. Congrats, Apex Legends.
Shout outs
I
to
did see that.
Apex.
Is that a Silent Hill thing?
What?
Pyramid Head?
Yes.
The
Okay.
Pyramid
Are you
Head is
memeing?
silent. What the fuck?
No.
Are you kidding?
I don't play horror video games.
Good point.
Yeah, but
None of
that's
this
like
Silent Hill stuff
basic.
means anything to me.
Pyramid Head officially a trans video game.
It's a
character.
trans icon.
All right.
Shout out for the representation.
We're going to start that news. Yeah.
We're not
Cool.
memeing. Fuck you, JK. What the fuck was it? So they went over they had a few announcements. Of course, the main thing, like nearly all of this leaked ahead of time, but that is what it is, I guess. The Silent Hill 2 got an announcement of a remake, which was the main thing. It is being developed by Bloober Team, which of course is Laserfear, the medium. Original composers back, original creature designers back to sort of, I guess, update the designs and stuff like that. Looks fine to me. I'll be honest, like a lot of my opinions on all this Silent Hill stuff's going to be very like whatever. I've only finished like one or two, I think, Silent Hill games in my life. They were both a PS3 one and a PSP or Vita one. So I have not played any of the good Silent Hill games. So much like Ash, my opinions on these games are fuck all. Ash, what is your terrible joke? I can see it on your lips. You're like, yes.
No, I found it very interesting. Obviously, we're going to talk about the next news story, but everybody kind of hated on everything about this Silent Hill transmission.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they loved everything that was in the other thing.
I watched
You know
this. I watched this whole Silent Hill thing. I thought it was a good reintroduction to a franchise that has been basically dead for ages. That was
been dead in the water since
Silent Hills.
PT.
Yeah, since PT. So for a franchise that people thought was dead, I feel like the complaint everyone had was not enough gameplay. I'm sitting there going, y'all should be happy you're getting fucking games. Like
You should be happy you're getting anything.
So yeah, as a non-Silent Hill fan, I actually thought this was a good I think it was like half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. Showcase.
Yeah, something like that.
I thought it was good. That's my opinion. Ciaran, what do you think of the Silent Hill 2 thing, or just the thing in general, I guess, whatever?
I thought the game looked, well, at least the shots that they showed looked pretty, and it looks like it's a proper remastered and proper kind of remake for
So
it.
it's a full-on remake where they've switched it to behind-the-shoulder camera and everything like that.
Yeah, like I feel like it's. I think I'm confused. I guess I'm not the biggest. I guess growing up, you're either a diehard Resident Evil fan or you're a Silent Hill fan. Like I feel like there's not heaps of crossover. Like there's probably a little bit, but I feel like in the age where you had to pick and choose what games you're picking up, a lot of people picked up one or the other.
I'll tell you what,
So,
anytime I was a kid and I tried to play any Silent Hill game on PS1, I could not get past like the first fucking half an hour. I'd get lost. I had no fucking clue what I'm doing. I go to play Resident Evil. They're like, I turned it off because the dog scared shit out of me. You know, like it's a different type of experience. I didn't get lost. I didn't get fused. So
yeah, but no, it is. Yeah, so I don't have much to go off on Silent Hill experience, but yeah, I thought overall it should be a positive thing. Like Konami, yes, maybe Konami thought they had waited long enough from the whole debacle
fuck Konami.
of
Hideki Kojima forever.
of the whole debacle of PT and the fallout with Hideo Kojima, losing the master of horror or weird stuff, Guillermo del Toro, working on a Silent Hill game. I think a lot of people thought that killed Silent Hill as a franchise. And you know what? In film form, it fucking did. I think maybe there's a lot of leftover resentment and feeling because of that. Also, at the same time, people on the internet just don't like good things. They just want something to yell about and to complain about. But yeah, overall, I think it's a positive. I think it'll be interesting to see how it comes out when it's fully released and what the experience is going to be like.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like the medium. I like some of Blue Team's other stuff, so I'm not going to hold them against them. But, like as a teaser trailer for someone who's never played Silent Hill 2, I was like, that looked pretty cool. I'm intrigued. That was about my extent. I'm not really going to bother asking Ash about anything, to be honest, unless you've got a hot take, because I don't think this is all horror stuff. So
no, all I watched was like the videos as I was putting them into the article just to make sure they were
the right ones.
To find a screenshot to use as the header. That was it.
And even then, he was like doing it through one eye.
It's like
hiding behind a pillow. You're like,
I nearly did make a joke.
Picture of a dude under pergola.
I nearly made a joke when I messaged you that morning. I was like, hey, can you put up this news piece for me or whatever? I was going to be like, you don't have to watch the videos. You just got to post the text. You don't have to watch the videos. Silent Hill Townfall then was announced. So now we get to a stream of sort of spin-offs and stuff like this. All of this stuff is a lot more interesting to me. So Silent Hill Townfall teaser is like, it's whatever. Like, I have no idea what the game is about. The reason I'm excited is because it's being developed by No Code. So No Code, I've played both their games. Stories Untold, they released in 2017. I did play on stream, I think in like 2018, 2019, something like that. Very weird, very interesting game that's like 4 or 5 different stories that all sort of link together. Very, very cool. Should definitely play that. And then 2019's Observation, which is like a space sort of like thriller. That was very, very good, very well written, very well paced. Sort of, it's not even a horror game. Like I'd call it like a thriller. Like it's a space thriller is what it is. But they're both really good games made by this small team. So based on that, they're making a Silent Hill game. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking in. Like that's totally. There's nothing in this teaser to excite me. The teaser's whatever. But No Code, I'm fucking down. So that's my on that. Being published by Annapurna's involved as well. So I guess co-publishing or whatever. They then announced Return to Silent Hill. So this is a movie where director Christoph Gans, however you say it, is returning. It will be based very much upon Silent Hill 2 from everything they said in the video. Cool. Honestly, here's my thing. I want to rewatch Silent Hill soon. I just need to come up with a content reason to allow me to do that. So I don't know if we'll do a spoiler cast somewhere. It's not going to be with Ash. So I have to rope someone else, maybe Ciaran in. But I want to rewatch Silent Hill because I'm watching this dude talk about this, and I'm watching... You're talking now like, he's such a big dude, his fan. And I'm watching going, I haven't watched this movie for well over 10 years. I actually can't remember if I like it or not. I have no idea. So before I say if I think Return to Silent Hill is potentially going to be a good movie or not, I need to go rewatch the first film and then decide if I like that or not. Because I cannot fucking remember. I think I liked it. I never watched the second one that had Jon Snow in it. Because they did make another one with a different director and it had Jon Snow in it. Kit Harington in it. I never watched that one. So yeah, I don't know. Did you ever watch the Silent Hill movie, Ciaran? Did you watch the movie?
No, I did not. Okay. Sorry, I was
like,
my brain died.
I was like, did you just did the fog just in
and the like, brain, my brain just like
because I was like, did you watch the movie? I saw your brain go like, did he?
I was like,
your brain was literally like, did you just ask me what the meaning of life is?
Like my brain hard, like reset because I was like just sat here. I was just like, fuck, my brain is. It's been a long day back at work. No, I haven't. I tend to avoid a lot of the movies for these type of franchises.
So you're in. You're gonna watch it, and we're gonna do a podcast. Cool, awesome. So then they had Silent Hill Ascension, which is a new type of game or something. It's like a big combination of people, Gen V, Bad Robot Games, Behavior, DJ2, JJ Abrams, fucking, he could be there to say shit, so they read out a sticky note he gave them or some weird thing. But it's going to be a communal game of some sorts, is what they're describing. So it'll be something where people are...
So it's Until Dawn.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Look, to be honest, people between this and all these other things where people talk about these communal games, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait. Let's just see how communal.
This is like one of those like pitches that tech bros do to like give a vague idea of a company.
Yeah.
To get funding. Yeah. Yeah, that's what this sounds like.
Very much. And then the last thing that they had, and I think very cool looking. So what's it called? Silent Hill F. Fuck the Silent Hill. So this is being developed by Neobards Entertainment, who I looked them up and I was like, what the hell? Who are these people? So they've been doing ports of Resident Evil games, and then like the remakes, like porting them to PC, I presume. But then they've also done reverse, and nothing like super standoutish or whatever. It's been written by Ray Kishio7. I saw that pop up. I was like, I have no idea who the fuck that is. Google them. Apparently, very popular Japanese writer, mostly known for the When They Cry visual novels. So. Nothing I have any context for, but apparently quite popular. But the trailer I thought was awesome. A lot of I have no fucking clue what's going on in this, but that was sort of the coolest part. I felt like it had like a feudal Japan setting, like especially by the time you get to the end and you have the crazy lady looking like she's in Midsummer with like flowers growing all over her and stuff like that. But I don't know. This just had some really cool imagery. Really creepy music and tone, and I thought this was as far as teasers go, I thought it was a fucking weird ass, creepy ass, cool teaser. What'd you make of this one, Ciaran?
I'm interested. I wish we got more horrors in kind of an older setting, like not in a modern day setting, in a time period piece. Like it would be really cool if this is feudal Japan, or has aspects of that throughout the gameplay. It's different. It's I'm always skeptical when these franchises try to step out of their bread and butter and start to do too much with spin-offs. I think it very rarely ever really works. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes and proceeds for the Silent Hill franchise.
Wrapping up, what was your thoughts on the thing as a whole, Ciaran?
I thought it was good. I think it's a good reintroduction to Silent Hill, and it's a good not reintroduction, but re-announcing it and bringing it to the forefront in the game industry and showing Konami is doing stuff with its IPs and it's not just Street Fightering itself to victory in terms of money wise. So, they've got a lot to rebuild in good faith and a lot of fans to kind of win back over throughout some terrible decisions they've made in the past. So, it'll be interesting to see how they proceed with it.
All right. On the opposite side.
I know. I feel like.
Oh, Ash has got opinions on horror stuff. The horror expert. Sorry to interrupt.
I just want to bring up,
he played Resident Evil
comments.
2 remake at PAX. Just so
like 5 years ago. No, I was just wanting to bring up. I feel like some of the bad blood that people or the distaste people have had was maybe because of Bloober Team. I feel like people have had sort of against that company, that developer, and like. People, I've seen a lot of comments like, "Oh, they've been trying to make a Silent Hill game several times now. They've failed. Why is this Japanese studio trying to get a Western studio to reboot their big franchise?" Yeah, I know. It's kind of interesting to watch from afar with no vested interest.
I feel like people should just wait and see because they know as well as everyone else should know if they fuck that game up. There's hard to come back from that, I feel. If they fuck up the remake of their beloved, like of a franchise, yes, they have quite often. It's very obvious they are heavily inspired by Silent Hill. They say it. They're not bullshitting. It's not a thing. They are very much. The medium is just fucking Silent Hill. If they fuck up the remake, that's not going to look good. So I feel like just trust them to not. I guess just out of that. All right, so then we got Resident Evil. Showcase.
Everybody loved this. Everybody was all over its dick.
Yes. Everyone was all over this dick because
you wouldn't be over Leon Kennedy's dick.
Yeah,
back off.
I was about to say it's totally because of Resident Evil 4, but we'll run through everything that happened before that quickly anyway. So they showed off a trailer for the new Winter's expansion coming to Resident Evil Village / the Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, which will include the new Winter's expansion plus everything that includes in that, which is both the DLC separate daughter thing where you play as spoilers Ethan's daughter Rose, like 20 years later or whatever, like she's got superpowers. It's wild. Anyway, I'm keen to play this, like from a story perspective. The other thing that's going to be part of this thing is that you'll get access to the new Mercenaries mode. We'll now let you play it as Lamy Demiscu, or however you say your name. But the big thing that everyone's pissed off about is that they made it shorter. So you can play as a... that's quite funny, all in and of itself. All of that is out October 28th. So you can either buy the DLC expansion thing separately, which is expansion, or, of course, you can buy the Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, which will have everything. Then we got Resident Evil Reverse. This is a game that's still coming out.
Can we skip this? Like, it's already
coming
out
out this month, right?
It's coming out.
I thought it was already out.
No, 28. They're doing a test. Even now, soon. Anyway, they're doing a test this week. But yeah, so this is the multiplayer game that apparently
it just looks like a basic shooter with the Resident Evil name slapped on it.
Yeah, I personally do not care, but I will. If people like it, good for them. But yeah, I don't care. And I don't think anyone here cares. So, Resident Evil Village is coming to Mac. Past games are getting Nintendo Switch Cloud version, so coming to Mac is funny, but I guess cool for people who look. There is a very small audience, people out there who do play games on their Mac, which I do understand, I guess, to a degree. The Mac, like if that's your main use, sure, that's cool. Nintendo Switch Cloud versions, yep, no, they're overpriced, don't work in Australia. Fucking who cares? Then the most important thing was new gameplay. Resident Evil 4 remake. They announced like a $500 Australian dollars fucking Leon collector's edition statue you can buy if you want that. Bunch of previews went out too. People have got hands on with the game. Everyone says it looks gorgeous. Everyone says it plays really well. They showed off some more, like, you get to see a lot more characters from the game in this trailer. People have been putting out comparison shots between this and the original. This is definitely a hardcore remake. This isn't just a paint by numbers game. This is, I think this is everything people want from what is considered one of the greatest games and one of the greatest horror games of all time. Everyone seems very happy with this. Ciaran, what was your thoughts on the Resident Evil 4?
Is this? I don't know if it's a hot take, but is Capcom and the Resident Evil devs the best people in the industry at doing remakes?
Currently, I'd say yes. I don't know, like maybe
I think. As a whole, I think the Resident Evil remake series has been kind of a staple in a lot of people's calendars. It's one of those things that when they do come out, people pick them up and play them and enjoy them. And it's not just a one-to-one kind of just a upscaling or even just making a pretty game but keeping the old game. It is approached with a lot of detail and a lot of attention to gameplay. And I think
their only competition is Blue Point.
Yeah. Which they're too busy working on Bluey the Blue Point pen.
Correct.
To
can't do it.
But they, I
it's
think,
actually Legends of Dragon, but continue.
Yeah, there's a massive rights issue in the Bluey thing. So
yeah, but I'm so fucking excited for this game. Yes, there wasn't enough of Ashley yelling Leon for like 5 minutes.
I didn't do anything.
This entire trailer, like that was disappointing. Oh my god, fucking hell.
He's
it's all right, buddy.
You'd make a terrible president's daughter.
I sure would.
But no, I'm so excited for this. This looks like it's gone an even further level to detail compared to the Resident Evil 3 remake and the Resident Evil 2 remake. Like this looks insanely good.
This is bigger games than both of those.
Yes, this is a massive game. Resident Evil 3 was like really supposed to be part of Resident Evil 2, but they just made
Resident Evil 3 is basically DLC. Resident Evil 2 is is a proper game, but also it's from the PS1 generation, so it's a lot shorter.
Yes.
It's a lot shorter in scope as well. Whereas Resident Evil 4, when it came out, it's a massive game both in scope and time. Like the game is like 20 hours long. It has fucking huge monsters in it. It has all these characters. It's got, you think the game, for people who haven't played it, and look, I'm saying this as someone who's actually never finished it. I've started this game so many fucking times.
Resident Evil 4 is the reason we have games like Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village. Like this is Resident Evil 5 and 6 were a bit of missteps. Biohazard and Village both go back to this kind of formula that was developed in Resident Evil 4, and I think I'm excited to see all these characters brought to life. I'm excited to see
this new vision and this new outlook on Resident Evil 4. I think it's one of the fantastic games. It would be so fucking hype if they like announced before launch that they were going to randomly bring the chainsaw controller back to Xbox and PlayStation. That would be so dope because that was a GameCube exclusive and a very Nintendo thing back in the day. But yeah, it is weird when you think of it. Resident Evil 4 started as a GameCube game.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was its original release, was just purely and exclusively on GameCube. So I'm so fucking excited for this. This is going to be so much fun.
Yeah. No, very keen as well to finally actually finish the game. I've watched people play it through from start to finish, but I've
watched so many speedruns.
Yeah, I've never finished the game.
During Games Done Quick each year, I always make sure I check in the Resident Evil 4 speedruns because they're always really fun.
Doesn't take them 20 hours, that's for sure.
No, damn straight.
All right, let's finish up today. Let's talk about McDonald's because I just want to piss Ciaran off. I love doing that. So, if in case you missed the story, it's still available. I assume probably it was limited time, but there's no way they've sold out. But you can head on over to McDonald's right now. You can get yourself you can get yourself 1 of 3 meals. You can get yourself a Big Mac. You can get yourself a fucking McChicken. You can get yourself a fucking McChicken nuggets meal. You can get any of these things, and what you get with that is you get a bag, right? And on the bag has Overwatch art. That's pretty fucking cool, right? But you know what the biggest thing is that you get those fucking you put that on your wall and hang it, son.
Hang it up.
You hang that shit up.
It's got a character from Overwatch on it.
Yeah, but you know what else you
on
do?
a McDonald's bag.
It's got lots of characters from Overwatch on it, which I think that's fucking cool as fuck.
And you eat the food. Like, let's not undersell the fact you eat the food. You get the glorious,
it's crazy,
healthy,
dairy free. As long as you ask for no cheese.
And no Big Mac sauce. Because I feel like the Big Mac
probably
sauce
does. You can get all of that.
Do you eat Big Mac still?
Fuck no.
Okay, well, then.
Big Mac. Big Mac. But the thing that you're buying this for, everyone, is because you get a fucking Overwatch rare as fuck skin. What you get is the epic Tracer lightning skin. Am I right?
Tracer! Everybody loves the Tracer. Lightning. Everybody loves lightning.
Everyone loves skins.
Is yellow.
Everyone loves skins.
Everybody loves them skins. Super rare, exclusive to Australian McDonald's. Nowhere else in the world you can get this Tracer skin. Pretty cool. Big deal. I'm McLovin' it.
I too am McLovin. I'm gonna get one of these. I want my fucking skin. I'm gonna get my fucking meal and I'm gonna get my fucking skin. Ciaran? Alright, I'm gonna go get my fucking epic Tracer lightning skin, motherfucker. I'm gonna play Overwatch 2 and I'm gonna get so many headshots because I have the best skin in the game.
You got this Tracer skin, and I can pretend I'm a electric gym Pokemon.
I can pretend I'm a Pikachu. I'm gonna run around with old chat voice comes on going Pika. I'm gonna eat my McNuggets. I'm gonna be sick.
But you got to do it in like a British accent because she's like British, right?
Oi, governor!
Oi, governor! Pika.
We were going so well. Oh, sorry, everyone.
Ciaran, you're not saying much.
Yeah, Ciaran, what the fuck is wrong with you? We're talking about Overwatch.
We're talking about Overwatch. Why aren't you like getting super excited? You seem pretty.
Get hyped.
I feel like, from Dylan's point of view, this is revenge for the last episode of Rings of Power.
Yeah. And listen to Rings of Power. Fuck you, did it! At the end of the fucking thing. Yeah, I was like, just fucking bleeding my ear holes over here. Even though me and Ash had been saying that entire fucking show that the thing that you're saying that I'm not saying because it's a spoiler, we were on board. Right? You're full of shit.
Said it the entire every episode.
Entire show. Right? So fuck you and the Overwatch skin you rode in on.
It wouldn't be the...
Not this one. It's exclusive to McDonald's here in Australia.
Do you want to explain why you're so depressed?
I'll give you the full fucking context of this, right? I really enjoy Tracer as a character. She's really fun to play.
But...
I was also very excited for the Overwatch and McDonald's Australia collaboration. I thought that was really
'Cause what?
fucking cool.
McDonald's just tweeted the Overwatch logo. It's like,
Yeah, McDonald's,
what
and I
could
was
it
like,
be?
"What?" And it's McDonald's Australia, and like McDonald's has had a close relationship with the Overwatch esports scene in Australia for contenders, and has sponsored it for many years now. I was like, "Cool, this is really fucking exciting to see."
It's cool. Like they got the adult Happy Meals over in America. Was it going to be some cool figures?
Yeah,
That would have been pretty cool.
I didn't think it was going to be that far. I didn't think we were
Collector
going that far.
cards.
I didn't think we were that far. What I didn't expect for them to do was to rehash an Overwatch 1 skin.
Wait, what?
What?
I don't understand. What are you saying? This is Overwatch 2.
Yes, but that skin was released in Overwatch 1.
This is Overwatch 2.
It is Overwatch 2. So you'd think they'd release a new skin for this to make this promotion kind of fucking poggers and to make you go and get it. It's an old Overwatch 1 skin, an epic skin, so it's not even the legendary. This is my most hated skin in the game. The fact this is so well known that I hate this skin amongst my group of friends that I play with. When they play Tracer, they all they use this skin to torment me, and they run around in front of me because of how much I think this is the ugliest fucking skin in the game.
Ciaran.
And to wake up the other morning, my fucking dreary ass life being flooded, being trapped in my house, to fucking see Lightning Tracer is the skin you get with fucking McDonald's meals, that's just a fucking slap in the face.
Ciaran, I got
It's probably, monetarily, it's technically like a $14, $15 skin. But,
that's the price of the meal. It pays for itself.
yeah, I know, it just pays for itself, really. But, it's the worst fucking skin in the game. And Blizzard, why you gotta fuck me like this?
Damn it, you took away! I was gonna say the damn line!
Yes! Yes!
Wait.
No,
So
wait.
what
You
you're
didn't say.
saying-
You wouldn't say this. Yeah, you didn't say it good enough. You didn't build up. You didn't build up the moment enough. I fucking take it back. You never said it. You never said it. Ciaran did say that. Ciaran just finished what he was saying. What I was going to do was Ciaran. Respond. Ciaran. Ciaran.
Yeah.
Blizzard, why you gotta fuck me like
No,
this?
fuck you, man. You got no.
Just edit it in post.
Alright.
But what you're saying, Ciaran, is McDonald's will put out a skin that you really, really hate. That it would be really bad if we were ever to play Overwatch 2 to be wearing that skin playing Tracer with you.
Yes, it would.
Sounds like we need to get that skin.
I'm getting nuggets
Yeah.
tomorrow, baby. Dylan's eating nuggets for tomorrow for lunch, right? McNuggies and
Hashtag
Tracer
ad.
skins for this boy. Look on Twitter to see my live unboxing.
You play as multiple Tracers.
I don't.
There's
Really,
one per.
One per team.
I believe they call that a Tracy.
Yeah. Tracers.
Just the plural of
Tracies.
Tracies, yeah. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of Okay Couch. If you like the show and you'd like to let us know, head on over to our Discord or our Twitters. ExplosionNetwork.com/Twitter will take you to a list with all such things. ExplosionNetwork.com/Discord will take you to our Discord. And if you liked this episode and thought it was worth $1, head on over to ExplosionNetwork.com/support. Set up a monthly recurring payment or a one-drop to help support the website, help support the podcast. It's all just fucking support us, love us.
We need money to buy McDonald's.
I need money to buy McDonald's.
Tracer skins.
I need money to cover the mic that I brought and showed up after I got back from PAX. And to that I say, why they would fuck me like this is beyond me. See you here next week, same time, same couch.
So bad.
Fuck off.
You fucked that up so bad. That was worse than either of my deliveries.
Well, he said the entire line, so I mean,
Yeah,
that
you
helps.
didn't. You didn't say the entire
He
line.
stumbled across the entire line. He didn't even do it fucking cleanly.
I didn't. I did it with a particular canter.
No, you stumbled over the fucking words.
I mean, you both said you both forgot to add the thanks a lot, but yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
we both fucked it up. Yep.